All right, welcome. Today, we're setting up a little literary face-off. In one corner, we have onomatopoeia, and in the other, the oxymoron. Now, these two seem totally different, right? But you'd be surprised what they actually have in common. So let's dive in and see what's what.
So let me ask you this right off the bat. What could possibly connect the word buzz with the phrase deafening silence? I mean, one is a sound you can actually hear, and the other is about a lack of sound that feels, well, huge. The answer to that question is pretty much the key to this whole explainer.
You see, both of them are what we call figures of speech. Basically, they're words that play clever tricks on us, and they're good tricks. One plays a trick on your ears, making you feel like you can hear something. The other plays a trick on your mind, using a contradiction to show you a deeper truth.
And that's really the big takeaway here. Even though they work in completely different ways, their goal is exactly the same. They take simple language and just crank up the volume. They make the words they're a part of way more powerful for you, the reader.
Okay, so let's get to the main event and properly introduce our two contenders. Just think of them as two characters, and each one has its own special superpower.
First up, we've got onomatopoeia. This one is the sound mimic. It's so simple, it's brilliant. It's just a word that sounds like the thing it's describing. When you read the word splash, you can almost hear it, can't you? Same goes for the hiss of a snake or the rustle of leaves. It's writing that talks directly to your ears.
And in the other corner, we have the oxymoron. This one is all about contradiction. It smashes two words with opposite meanings right next to each other, like sweet and sorrow. And you might think, wait, that doesn't make sense. But it does. It's how writers express a really complicated feeling that a single word just can't handle. It's a paradox that, somehow, feels totally right.
And this little chart really nails the difference. Onomatopoeia is all about sound imitation. It's aimed straight at your ears. And oxymoron, on the other hand, is about revealing these contradictory truths. It's designed to get your mind spinning. One is purely sensory, and the other is totally intellectual.
So, now that we know what they are, the next question is, how do you find them? You know, out in the wild, in a book or a song? Well, this next bit is going to be your toolkit. Your spotter's guide to becoming a pro. Let's break down how you can tell them apart. For onomatopoeia, the main clue is super easy. Does the word actually sound like the noise it's talking about? Just listen inside the word. For an oxymoron, you're looking for two opposite words teamed up. And the gut check is that feeling, where it sounds wrong, but it just feels right. Even their structure is a giveaway. Onomatopoeia often shows up with movement, like the patter of rain. Oxymorons, they're often an adjective plus a noun, like living death. Okay, so we can define them, we can spot them, but why do writers even bother using them? What's the point? Let's get into the unique power that each of these brings to the table.
Let's start with onomatopoeia. A writer could just say, the leaves moved. Boring, right? But isn't it so much better when they say, you can hear the rustle of the leaves? It just pulls you right into the scene. Suddenly, you're not just reading about it, you're kinda there.
And that's its superpower. It creates this sensory vividness where you literally hear the action. It builds atmosphere. Think about it. The gentle murmur of a brook feels totally different from the loud clang of a bell. It basically turns a flat description into a living, breathing, sounding experience.
Now, what about the power of an oxymoron? Let's take cruel kindness. We've all been there, right? When someone tells you a hard truth and they're doing it to help you, but man, it hurts. The act itself is kind, but how it feels is cruel. There's no single word in English that can capture that perfectly.
And that's why it's so amazing. An oxymoron adds so much depth because it makes us hold two opposite ideas in our head at the same time. It really shines a light on how complex our emotions can be. And it creates these phrases that just stick with you and make you think. It's a tool for telling two truths at once. So, after this whole face-off, what's the one thing you really need to remember? Let's boil this entire thing down to its simplest, most powerful point.
Here it is. It's actually this simple. Onomatopoeia is designed to make you hear the story. It pulls you in through your senses. An oxymoron, on the other hand, is designed to make you think about the story. It challenges you to dig a little deeper and understand its complicated truths.
So, the next time you're reading something, or even just listening to a song, keep your ears and your mind wide open. Because now that you've got the tools to spot these two, who knows what other clever word tricks are out there just waiting for you to find them?